What's up, YouTube? Welcome to more trades. This is going to be another update on Solana. So we've seen a lot of interesting moves in the crypto market and in the traditionals the past few days. We've seen a nice little dumpy to the downside that started off, we could say, on the 21st of February. Actually, the last high was on the 20th of February, and we've been coming down ever since. Uh, yeah, so just before the weekend, we had a nice move. I expect some volatility tonight when the weekly candle closes. That would be in about the weekly candle closes roughly in about probably 9 hours. Yeah, so basically what I'm looking at, this is for Solana. And if we go on a higher time frame on the 4 hourly to see the bigger picture, where are we in terms of Solana? Well, in terms of Solana, slightly different than Bitcoin. We haven't really dropped that much. We dropped, but I mean, in the case of Bitcoin, um, we came, I'll just go to Bitcoin for a second. In the case of Bitcoin, we came and hit our highs from 15th of August. Let's see in Solana, what have we done? Have we gone that high? And we actually took out the 15th of August high. In Solana, it's slightly different. I believe we haven't taken out, no, we took out our, we haven't even taken out our November highs. Our August highs for Solana would bring us right around here, the $48 zone. So Solana hasn't moved as much as Bitcoin in that sense. Now, when you look at this, this was the clear 5-wave move up. And this move down, if we start breaking the, let's take a fib retracement from the low over here, we assume this is our third wave. And our third wave probably ended here. So the third wave started here. We had a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, I would say. This was our third wave. It ended here and we retraced about the 0.5 fib. We had a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then this 1, 2, a small 1, 2, or you could say it was a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and this is the beginning of the third wave. However, we retraced it here for the fourth wave at around $19.6. And if we look at the fifth wave, so we'll take the length of the third wave over here. Just a second, I think I did a mistake over here. Fib retracement for the third wave. If I go from the bottom over here to the peak over here, saying this was my third wave, my fourth wave had a shallow retracement, barely the 0.382. Now at the moment we have retraced to the 0.5. But the length of this compared to the length duration of the second wave is humongous. So I can't call this anymore a fourth wave of this degree. What it can possibly be, it can be an A or B of this move up. So we had a move up over here. Our move up over here took us all the way here, and then we broke the high. So it's very confusing what was going on here. Could this be our fourth wave? And our third wave ended at this peak over here. And we have our fourth wave coming to the 0.382, and we might blast off in a fifth, as this is the fourth. However, it's so large compared to that. Now, whether this is a fifth going up, or if we're going to look at this as a 1, 2, if it's a 1, 2, then we have a high probability of coming as low as, we can come as low as $11.9 and still be in a second wave. So you need to be aware of that. 11.9. I'll give you the most important zones in my opinion. You have the 0.382, which was already tapped once. So I would look at the 0.5, and then I would look at the 0.618. There you go, 15.195. and the 0.786 as a final support. So if someone is scaling into long trades or DCAing for long terms, then those are your zones that you might want to DCA for possible move to the upside. Now, if the wave 2 comes as far as it can go, as $12, yeah, that would look like that's it. We're going to zero. How far will a wave 3 go? So if we go all the way here for wave 2, and my wave 2 comes all the way to $12, your wave 3 can come as high as 31 or even 43. Now these zones down here, I need to mark them in green. So mark those zones out. Look at how price reacts at those zones on smaller time frames to determine whether you want to take a trade or you want to scale in. It depends on the reaction. If we're holding very well, if there is a swing failure and we're starting to move up, then that's a possible indication. With a volume increase, it's a possible indication. This is the bullish outlook. Now a more bullish outlook, we could just say we're at 3 and a 4 and we're beginning a 5. Now this really looks like a 3 to me, a possible third of a third. So maybe our third started here and then came down in its fourth of a third, and we went up in a fifth. Now the fifth probably had an expanded B wave. The fifth hit over here, and we came down in A and an expanded B pocket, and might be coming down in a C. So if it's an ABC and this is the fourth wave of this whole structure, some freak fourth wave, we could come as low as 19.713. Losing 19.713 would tell you then you're coming down to these zones. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. And if we are in that coming down to 19.73 only, and we're going to blast off, then I would say we could go even much higher, as high as the 34 or even the 43 range. Now, another outlook of looking at this, most of the outlooks are looking kind of bullish, even though we're dropping in price. You need to think counterintuitively. Like when everyone is trying to short, you need to start looking for where can you have a long position. At the moment, we're just bouncing off the value area high of this entire down range. So you can see a perfect bounce over here. You can't make this up. Look at that. However, the market looks weak. We'll know tomorrow when the market's open. Now, I want to give you an outlook if this is a beginning of something. Say we had a 1, 2, and a 3 up, or an A, B, and a C. Now, if you want to count it as an ABC, this is also a bullish thing, even though that after the C wave, we will be coming down for a bigger wave down. So A, B, and a C. Your C wave can come as high as 38, 39, or the $50 range. That's targets, or even as low as the $31 to $32 range where you find the golden pocket. Now, bigger outlook, I gave you those targets, 31, 34, 43, and even the $50 range. I want to show you what I have on the chart that could tell me a possible reaction if we bounce off, say today. If today gives us an insane pump to the upside, your first zone of resistance, as per these Fibonacci channels, which tells me I might need to adjust them, 46. That's so far away, I wouldn't consider that at the moment. Looking at EMAs, what do we have in terms of EMAs? We have something on the daily which would be significant. If you look at past price action, how this reacts to the 200, sometimes we break it. When we're above it is bullish, we eventually come under. We try to break up for a few days, only to land even harder, to crash even harder. So your next zone of interest, very important zone of interest, would be on the daily time frame, your 200 EMA for resistance, $28. I mean, we haven't been able to get above the 26. I told you, if we get above the 25, we'll see the 26. If we break the 26, then we can see the 28. Now, if we go to the 55 EMA on my other indicator over here, 55 EMA is under us on the daily, but on the weekly, we might find a sort of resistance coming at $43. So your next zone of resistance on the weekly is that, on the daily is that. So those targets match. This matches with one of the targets I gave you. So even if you start going up, you need to start looking at your 55 and 200 on the daily, on the weekly, to determine where you could be heading to. To the downside, I haven't given you a bearish outlook. I know those targets sounded low, but that's not the bearish outlook. The bearish outlook is that this move up over here, although it was a nice pump, could just be a wave 4 up. We came down from this big move down, could have been a first wave, a second. We were in a third, we were sort of in a fourth, came down in the fifth. Essentially, you'd expect a turnaround here. But what if the wave count is slightly different? And we may see some lower targets. I'm going to show you some lower mid time frames to a bit higher time frames. Now, if you look at this coming down here, say we completed our impulse, it completed here, though it could have completed here. We could have had our A shooting up over here, our A, B, and our C. Or, sorry, A, and this is our B, and we're coming down for a C. So if I say this was my A wave, and it came in a 1, 2, and this was a third wave, 1, 2, 3, this was my third wave, a 1, 2, a third, a fourth, and a big fifth, and a small fourth and a fifth. This looks like sort of a 5-wave move down. So if I say this was my A, my A started here coming down, and this was the low of my A, and I'm coming up in my B, which ended over here. Let's bring it exact. My C wave should hit the 0.618, but it did already. Next important target for this wave coming down, though it looks like I had a big impulse here, it looked like a 1, 2, 3 ABC. For some reason it looks very 3-wave-ish, but this is the 4-hour time frame. 19, again, the 19.8 zone over here, I told you 19.7. So that zone is important, even looking at the wave count down. And the $15, again, the 1.618 of this move down would be at around $15. So I am looking at those zones coming even lower. That $12, we might not get there. We might bounce off just this zone, the POC, at around $13.5. Okay, I'm looking at one more thing before I get off this. There are more indicators I could look at, but I'm trying to squeeze this video because I want to push out some other videos. This move down, being honest, it's on the 4-hourly time frame, it's done in a volume declination. This move up was sort of having spikes of volume, though the volume wasn't really nice. But this move down is with volume declining, and that isn't bullish, or it isn't really bearish, seeing that the move down wasn't volume supported. Now, if you go down on the hourly, same thing, spikes, declination, spikes, declination. Going in the daily, ever since we've been moving up, volume has been dying out significantly. That is bearish. I want to look at stochastics RSI, actually ECLA stochastic CG oscillator. We are in the oversold region. So we start forming a double bottom over here on the CG oscillator, and you start seeing something like this, there's a chance you will pump. Double bottom here, you got to pump. If you see double tops, it's the opposite. So on the daily, we have a bottom forming. On the weekly, looks like we have some more downside to go. This isn't good. On the 4-hourly, we are overbought, so that isn't good. So 4-hourly and weekly are looking bad. Daily, we're already oversold. 1-hourly, we are sort of forming a double bottom. So this 1-hourly may take us a bit higher. Yeah, but it all depends on the traditionals. It depends on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, and all that things. All of those things. All right, hope you liked the update. Smash the likes, join the free Discord, subscribe to the channel, and if you really like to support the channel, link is in the video description. More trades, I'm out.